This is Rude Tutors, hosted by English Renaissance expert Liz Rodriguez and nerdy laywoman Nicole Keating. Join our raunchy jaunt through the historical and the hysterical as we explore the weirdness of the past and its presence in the present.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Liz.
Oh my gosh, we have a special guest today I forgot to mention.
We do?
Yeah, Her Royal Highness, Queen Elizabeth I. Your Highness.
Hello! It's me, Queen Elizabeth I. You know, red hair and stuff.
I recognize you from your portraits.
Why, thank you.
I just have to say, I'm so honored that you would be on an episode of Rude Tutors right now.
Tis nothing.
And I know that you like stories, and
I do like stories.
And you're such a great...
Like Shakespeare.
Like Shakespeare.
And other people who also wrote stories and books and the Bible.
You're a fan of the Bible, yep, yes. I know. And what has always impressed me about you is that you were so generous with donating to the arts, being a patron to keep them going.
Of course. I love to support the local artists, like Shakespeare and other people who write stories. Like the Bible.
You're really not good at remembering names, are you, Your Highness?
No, not at all. There's so many people, you see, when you're running a kingdom that you can't keep them all straight. Most of them are named Thomas, anyway.
That's true, or William, or Henry.
William,
yeah.
Or Jane, or Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. They all want to be like me.
Well, the thing about being a patron or a patroness is that it's something that we still do today in 21st century United States.
How lovely!
Yeah, there's this website. People have a way of giving money to the lovely ladies who make Rude Tutors to help keep it going.
Is that so?
Yeah, they do. It's patreon.com. And if you search for Fake Geek Girl Productions, you will find our Patreon campaign where you can help keep shows like Rude Tutors or the web series Space Happens going for as little as $1 a month.
That's wonderful.
It is.
Just $1 a month?
You can give as much as you'd like, but all it takes is $1, and then you get access to all sorts of bonus materials. But here's the thing, too.
I love my stories.
If you can't give $1 a month, you can give a minute, right? Just go to iTunes and leave a review, give us some stars, and this is another way that you, our lovely listeners, can help keep Rude Tutors going.
I will set my royal magicians on it right away.
Oh, well, thanks for coming in today.
Of course.
And, I'm going to give you this throat lozenge. I think you should just use it. Yeah, you sound a little froggy. You also sound a lot like Will Shakespeare. I hope that doesn't insult you.
No, I'm tickled.
All right.
I love Shakespeare and other people who write stories. I like this lozenge, too.
Thanks, Your Highness. We'll see you next time.
Rule Britannia, rule the waves.
So if listeners will recall, a few episodes ago we talked about Renaissance personal massagers, a.k.a.
dildos.
Get
a little of that dildo.
And just this past week on IO9, Catherine Trendacosta talked about how archaeologists found an 18th century dildo in a toilet.
Yeah.
We told you guys. We told you they were real.
They were real. They do exist. To describe the dildo, it's pretty girthy.
Well, there's a super sweet picture of it. So if you go to IO9, which I highly recommend you do, and you read this story, there's a very nice photo of somebody holding it, so there's scale.
You can also find the link on our Facebook page, facebook.com/fakegeekgirl. That sweet dildo pic will be right up there, front and center on our timeline.
I cross-posted it to the Rude Tutors Facebook page, which everybody should be a member of as well. So this picture, they've taken it out of an excavation site in Gdansk, Poland, which I've actually been to.
Oh, really?
Can you believe that?
You visited that when you were in Poland?
I've been to the site of this dildo graveyard.
Whoa.
Can you imagine if they were digging and there were just hundreds of dildos?
A dildo graveyard. Yeah. Isn't that where Simba and Nala go in that one scene of The Lion King?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's an elephant graveyard.
Okay. So back to the dildos, though. Come on, we have serious issues to discuss.
Real things to talk about. I'm sorry.
So yeah, they found this in Poland, and the description, which comes from the Discovery Channel, Discovery News, says that the phallic object is, quote, large, thick, made of leather filled with bristles, and has a wooden tip.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, like most penises do, right?
Little wooden, like, end.
Filled with bristles.
Wooden attachment. Filled with bristles.
Yeah, like you trimmed your broom, and then, what am I going to stuff this dildo with?
Broom trimmings. I know.
Yeah, and it's
bristles.
It's supposed to be in really good condition. It's from the second half of the 1700s. This picture, it's so muddy. They've just pulled it out
I know, and the fact that they pulled it out of a toilet, but I know that that's mud, but I also know that they found it in a toilet, so I can't help but thinking it's poop.
Well, and some folks in the comments section and on Facebook were trying to figure out why this thing got flushed in the first place.
I think somebody was probably like chilling off a little bit and then, oh no, my mom's coming. Throw it away.
Flush. Or they had it somewhere else, like put it in the butt, forgot it was there.
Oh,
went to go to the bathroom.
And it just like fell right out. Could you forget that was there?
I probably couldn't. This is a really personal question you're asking, but I would imagine if you're really used to it, if you're
maybe.
training.
I didn't know if this was I didn't think this was an all the time dildo. I thought this was a special use.
I have so many gross things to say right now. So check out IO9. We told you this stuff mattered. It matters.
To science.
To science, yeah. Pretty cool. All right, anyway, so speaking of dildos are just one of those things that I think people are shocked to find out that folks in the past were into. And so we're going to talk about more sexual stuff, surprise, surprise, that folks in the past were into that might be surprising. So our topic for today...
So many surprises.
Today we're going to be talking about a man by the name of Simon Foreman, and he was a diarist who is featured in Lawrence Stone's book, The Family, Marriage, and Sex in England, 1500 to 1800, which you might remember was our source for an early bundling episode.
Indeed.
So he talks about a number of diarists who kept records about who they boned and how they boned and why they boned.
Like Janine Garofalo in Reality Bites.
Exactly. So
nice.
We're going to talk about one of the Janine Garofalos of the Renaissance, Simon Foreman.
Wonderful.
How that sound?
I hope he also has amazing glasses and is an icon of his time.
So he wrote his book in the 70s, so it is an oldie, but it's a goodie, and some of his analysis is really great, and I picked out a few choice quotes because he's giving us some context for how to read these diaries, because he says that when it comes to descriptions of personal sexual experiences, that there really are only 6 from the early modern period. Yeah. Like plenty of diaries, but only 6 that talk about sexual encounters, and that all but one of them take place in and around London. So this is an extremely small sample size. And he also says that these are probably the earliest instances of people describing in diaries or in their own writings their own sexual experiences.
Interesting.
Because we have all sorts of descriptions of sex, right?
Yeah,
but not like personal live
accounts.
Journal style.
Yeah. Or, penthouse letter.
Or I never thought it would happen to me.
I never thought it would happen to me.
I was at the Playhouse.
Just getting drunk like I usually do. Feeling up some horse. When what do you know?
She gave the money back.
What?
So
I was just that cute.
I want to give a little context to how to understand these diaries, because the question when looking at historical sources is how representative are they? Because we don't have so many of them floating around, it's hard to know, are these people like everybody else or are they not like everybody else? And this is what Stone has to say. And I quote, "Most men at most periods do not record their sexual experiences, and the few who do are likely to be exceptional in some way or another. The mere desire to record sexual experience is usually a sign of latent anxiety, not necessarily about the writer's sexuality, but about his moral and physical performance generally." Whoa. Larry. Can I call you Larry? There's a little projection going on,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, so his point, as I take it, is that not a lot of people are doing this, and so we can't exactly take these descriptions as being representative. But then he later on says in the chapter,
Actually, we can.
we can, because
Why not?
they seem like middle of the road guys.
And it's all we got.
Exactly, and there is a level of convenience to
Yeah.
having to take them as average or kind of, pedestrian, what a lot of men would have been saying. And the emphasis is on men. He says there aren't any ladies' diaries that exist that describe sexual encounters, which,
It's just because we're better at hiding our diaries.
exactly, putting a lock on it.
We know exactly which mattresses to slip them between so that no one will ever find them.
I wonder how many people actually keep diaries. It seems like
Yeah.
a lot of people are doing a lot of writing about themselves these days, but it's specifically for public consumption.
Yeah.
I don't know, these descriptions and statistics. It's more statistics, unfortunately, than anything else. We don't get into like erotic descriptions. I keep using the word descriptions. There's not a lot of like then I did this to her, then I did that, and then she did this. It's more like,
it's not the I am cyber sex rundown.
No.
It's the stats, which is what I don't think people would do anymore.
you don't think
Unless
so?
they were doing it like a food log.
Yeah, like a little black book.
Yeah,
Don't
like
some
the Janine
people
Garofalo.
keep track of these things?
I
Because
think so.
some people want to keep track when, where, names.
Especially if you have a lot of sex.
Yeah.
You gotta write that shit down, remember it. Okay.
Put it in a password protected Word doc.
For some reason I think that's something more like girls would do.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We don't know anybody who does that.
No, not at all.
So Simon Foreman, from the 1580s and 90s, this is where his diary entries are coming from. And his profession, this is why I picked him over all the other guys.
Okay.
He was a professional necromancer, astrologer, magician, and physician.
What?
How do you get paid as a necromancer?
Yes.
What are necromancing rates these days?
How do look at those low necromancing rates. Little local humor.
Thanks, Eagle Man.
Thanks, Eagle Man.
Do you think we can get Eagle Insurance to sponsor us?
Oh yeah, that's a good spot. Sponsored by Eagle Insurance.
Yeah. So what the hell is a necromancer?
Like, how do you get paid to do that professionally?
Well, and what is a necromancer, though? I think we need to get back to basics with this, because I've only encountered them in Skyrim, and
They're people who reanimate the dead.
Yeah, and I think
That's why I'm like, how do you get paid for that? How do you show tangible results for that?
Right, and I think when it comes to Simon Foreman, it was more speaking to the dead and communicating with the dead.
A medium.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
Because he's
also dipped into astrology. I like this guy.
And a magician. See, and what does it even mean to be a magician back in the day? Like did he go to kids?
Apothecary, probably, right?
This would be a cool guy a fun character to play.
To cosplay?
Yeah, to cosplay, exactly.
Somebody needs to pitch this at Bristol this year. This is your street character. Noted necromancer, Simon Foreman.
He was pretty well known, and he was pretty popular. He would tell people's fortunes, but also give them, like you were saying, medicinal cures and things like that. He wasn't entirely a quack, but I think he was mostly a quack.
Mostly a quack, but why not?
Well, he had some pretty sketchy business practices and relations with his customers that I think throw him staunchly into quackery. So he made bank in London, and I think this is where he starts to get into being able to be representative of like a cross-section of societies, because he fucked a cross-section of society. Highborn, lowborn, and middleborn. He loved all the ladies.
He just loved the ladies.
He did. But what's weird is he was a late bloomer. He was a 30-year-old virgin.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So he seems to have made up for lost time after turning 30.
He had to.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what happens with late bloomers is, they may take a while, but once they're in it, they go full force, balls to the wall.
Yeah.
And so he was recording stats about his wife. So he married her in 1599, and she was 19.
Party like it's 1599.
Well, he fucked like it was 1599.
Yeah, get after it.
So in 1599, the pair got married when she was 19 and he was 47.
Whoa.
Yeah, age is just a number, baby, especially back then. But what I don't like is she was a servant in his home and then turned into his wife. Like, tell me there's no coercion going on there.
Little bit of coercion.
But it's also the ultimate servant girl fantasy.
Yeah, right?
I'm going to end up with the master of the house.
Doling out the charm.
Collecting my husband's urine. He likes to keep it in bottles. Don't know why. I mean, it probably has some necromantic
Purposes,
value.
some spell value.
So he had a cute little nickname for her.
Dildo? Dick cheese?
Close.
Cloaca? That's what I thought you were going to say when I heard
Tronco. I know, it's beautiful, right?
It's
my darling Tronco.
It's so beautiful. I'm weeping. It's so beautiful. My Tronco truck.
My most valued possession, Tronco. Your beautiful angular corners. Your lead-based paint.
Tronco.
That's some funny shit. Well, it was probably more pronounced like tronco.
Oh, tronco.
I think it's from the Italian meaning body.
Oh.
Yeah, which makes it even worse. Like, not only am I going to call you tronco, but it means body.
Ugh.
So it shows what he was into her for.
Yeah. Dead sweet servant body, though. She got them abs from all that scrubbing.
Yeah, all of that sweeping really makes the body lithe.
Yeah.
Nubile.
Wow.
So some of their stats, during the spring of 1607, they banged twice a week. Seems reasonable, but for someone who loved to fuck as much as Simon Foreman obviously did.
But this is just with her, so he's probably got other broads to get after.
Exactly. So let's talk about some of these other broads. So he had 2 long-term mistresses, and according to Lawrence Stone, ever the romantic, he seems to have been in love with both of them.
Okay.
I don't really
whatever.
care. He was still keeping track
Early
of
Polly.
what he did. Yeah, he just had so much love to give, but they didn't actually break up until 95. So they probably, like, I would imagine had some sort of falling out, but still got together to hate fuck every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Like you do.
Like you do.
And so they really strung all that along. So she was married, naturally, and that's what I think is so women. That's what I think is so
women.
That's so women. No, that's what I think is so interesting about a lot of the women who he had affairs with is that they were married too.
I like that.
You like that?
I like that a lot.
Why?
Because the thing that always grinds my gears is when people are like, when it is only the dude can do it. You know, like,
oh, yeah.
Like he can have 2 mistresses and a wife and all these prostitutes and
the dog.
and the dog and the sheep and a dude maybe.
And that dildo
and that dildo he keeps
hides
in the
toilet.
But I like it when I hear historical accounts of women taking a similar path because it shows a little bit more of an equal footing in that respect.
Yeah, and that women like to have sex as much as men do. Like this myth that keeps getting repeated about how women don't have as much desire. Au contraire, says the Renaissance. In fact, they are even more lustful than men are. Like, that is the prevailing myth.
In the Renaissance.
That women like to fuck, you know? And
yeah.
They do. Here, let's look at some historical documents that tell us that. So that was one mistress, Annie Young, the other long-term one being the wife of William Allen. I don't know if he ever even calls her by name, but William Allen was a Catholic gentleman.
Oh.
Yeah, and remember,
gentleman.
The country's Protestant at this point, so there were a bunch of Catholic people who he was getting with.
Nice. He had a type. That Catholic school, it does crazy things to girls.
You know them Catholic girls with those skirts?
You know them.
Rolled up. He was into that. So about 1593 to 96 was when he got with Mrs. Allen. And talk about a cliche. He would get with her, Simon Foreman would get with her whenever the husband left the house, like Fablio style. Like, husband goes out the front and he's like
running in the back. I hope there were some comical encounters where he had to be forced out a window by tying bed sheets together.
Yes. Well, I imagine, too, he probably hid outside behind a bush.
Oh, Oh, yeah, of course.
And then when the husband left, he would carry the bush,
with him. Do, 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 do.
And people would think, why is that bush
Oh,
moving?
it's because they were really dumb in the Renaissance.
That's what, if this podcast teaches you anything, it's that
people in the past were dumb.
mad dumb.
Mad stupid.
But besides these two long-term mistresses, he also had many affairs with clients.
I'm curious as to what he looked like. Like, if he was, like, kind of smarmy and suave.
He must have been.
I can see him being like, so, you have a little bit of a problem, do you? Like fancying himself like a noir detective, almost.
Well, exactly. He had to have some kind of game, not only
definitely
to
had a game.
talk women into sleeping with him, but also to make people believe in the fortunes and talking to dead people. Like, and
he's got powers of persuasion.
He was probably really charming and had some sort of magnetism that made people trust him, want to believe him, want to be around him, want to give him their money.
Maybe he has trumped Jon Snow as the hottest guy at the Ren Fair, and that's his game.
Just to catch the listeners up, I'm not into Jon Snow on Game of Thrones because I think he looks like the stereotypical hottest guy at the Ren Fair.
You know, that old chestnut, that old archetype.
I feel like it's well known amongst people we know and amongst people who would listen to us. There are plenty of attractive men at the Renaissance fairs. Jon Snow looks like the guy who thinks he's the hottest guy at the Ren Fair.
Right, and like has like a stupid swagger and like sort of sticks his dick out in front, keeps his hand on his sword, and wears one of those like capes that go up around the side, like that goes over one shoulder instead of like around the shoulders.
And he laughs too loud and he says, "Huzzah!"
So many huzzahs.
We know this guy. Also, lay off the diva curl, guys.
Oh my god, I know you
guys and girls who do Jon Snow's hair.
You look crunchy. Yeah. It looks crunchy. And maybe, like, shave. I know it's cold up there at the wall, but what you got on your face is not protecting you.
It's not working for you because
it looks like pubes.
Yeah.
It looks like pubes.
It looks like pubes. Simon Foreman definitely didn't have pube face. I'm sure he had a really nice beard. Okay, so can you imagine somebody coming in to see him? I'm sure that he probably had some sort of cockamamie reason for why he needed to fuck these ladies. Like, no, I swear it'll only work.
You think he said it was part of the job?
Yeah. No, this love potion will only work if I make it immediately after ejaculating into you. And that would compel them.
Oh my god, no, I just thought of something really gross.
That his semen would be one of the ingredients? Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, from the encounter.
I would imagine. I would imagine that's reasonable enough.
Yeah.
But to go back to the poor young woman who just lost her grandmother, this is like some John Edwards shit. Like some crossing over.
I forgot about that guy, and now I remembered his existence.
Does your grandmother's name start with a B or an L? And she says she misses you, and that you should fuck me,
and also that there's this nice handsome young man in front of you, and you should probably get on that, sweet D.
Jump on.
I mean, it's coming from her. I didn't say sweet D, she did.
Your grandma has really strange taste in slang beyond the grave. So these are some of the ladies who came to see.
Yeah, they did.
Mr. Simon Foreman. There was Mrs. Hipwell,
her hips work well.
I'm sure, yeah, exactly. I'm sure that's the line he used on her too, like Mrs. Hipwell, Hipweller.
I think he and I.
You guys would have brought out. So these ladies would come to see him for advice about love in the future, and so Mrs. Hipwell wanted advice. I think it's not entirely clear, but she was complaining about her husband constantly wanting sodomy.
Oh no!
Yeah. And it's unclear to me.
He only wants the butt stuff.
Is it butt stuff or is it oral sex? Because the sodomy is Lawrence Stone's word for it, and this is the 70s, so also. But I kind of hope it was butt stuff. That she's just like,
constant butt stuff.
No mas.
Constant butt stuff. Can we do it in the other hole, please? Just once.
No. And so, and Stone notes that even though Mrs. Hipwell had been used this way, that didn't stop Foreman from getting with her. So he got with her. He got with a schoolmaster's wife, including one time when the husband was teaching downstairs.
Whoa!
And Foreman was upstairs and feeling her all up. This is some
Desperate Housewives shit.
It is. And they didn't fully consummate, but he gave her like a very vigorous rub down all over her body.
Oh.
He also, now this is where he starts to get a little sketchier. He banged a bunch of his friends' wives, which is just, isn't that part of bro code?
I feel like that's the violation of the bro code, unless they were all
into
swapping.
It. Yeah, in which case, that is
Key
a
party.
fanfic I wouldn't mind reading.
Yeah.
Renaissance fanfic.
Write it.
So, Mrs. Condwell was the name of this woman, and she was married to John Condwell, who was one of the witnesses at Foreman's wedding.
Dude!
Dick move.
Dude!
Because being a witness is a serious thing. This
is such a soap opera.
Well, this is like sleeping with the best man's wife.
Wife, yeah.
That's not cool, Foreman. Yeah, he's kind of sketchy.
He's real sketchy.
Wonder.
He's
who would have thought that the astrologer necromancer would have dubious
I'm an astrologer
morals.
/ necromancer / magician / physician.
And then there was another friend's wife whose husband was the Dean of Rochester. So she was the mistress of another guy named Dean Wood. Although I don't think that's his name. I think Dean is his title, and his last name is Wood. But also that's funny.
Even so, that's a porn name.
It is Dean Wood.
Starring Dean Wood.
And so the reason why she came to Foreman for advice, she kept going to see him. Oh, no, wait. I'm getting her confused with Mrs. Martha Webb.
There's just too many.
There are. Well, she was the mother of 8 or 9, and she kept going to Foreman for advice about whether the other guy she was having an affair with was really in love with her. What? Like,
what world do you live in?
Crazy. So she was married, and she wanted to know if the guy she was sleeping
already
with on the side,
sleeping
like,
with.
is he really in love with me? Because if he's not, I don't know if this relationship is going anywhere. It's not. It's not going anywhere. Mrs. Martha Webb, I don't have to be a psychic to tell you that this is not going anywhere. And
I sense that this is not...
It's
going anywhere.
It's dead in the water. So that's probably why this guy was so good at what he did, because people were just asking him dumb questions.
Stupid questions.
That anybody could have
Well, but that's
answered.
how psychics work now. They read everything that you're giving them, and they tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah, it's true. That cold reading is a good skill. We're going to close up with the sketchiest of the sketch. I actually shouldn't say sketchy, because there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. It's just, I'm shocked that he was writing about it and like leaving a record. You're not supposed to leave records of these things.
I picture this dude being like pretending to be really sensitive. That's what I picture. I picture him like, oh no, I'm just out here on the porch strumming my guitar.
Yeah.
To show how much pain I'm in.
You're such a good listener, Mr. Foreman. You always know what to say.
It's all right. I could listen to you talk.
He's Matthew McConaughey.
He is Matthew McConaughey. Oh my God. Yes, you're
now
right.
It makes sense.
All right.
Now tell
what
me.
can I necromance for you today?
So this is where he's really trying to up his numbers a bit, I think. So he got with a bunch of servants who lived with him, a maid who worked for him, and a nurse who helped with his practice. Like, also, be more cliched. Who are you going to sleep with? The nurse, servant girl, and the naughty nurse.
The clients.
Now, this gets messed up, though. Somehow the nurse got pregnant.
What? I wonder how that happened.
Well, you know what he did, though?
What?
He fired her, and then he put together a list of 6 other dudes she might have slept with in order to prevent a paternity suit.
Whoa.
Yeah, like that's some like evil mustache.
Yeah, that is mustachioing. Oh man, this guy,
cool, Mr.
This
Foreman.
guy. I want to write him as a character
Isn't
into
he
something.
fascinating?
He's fucking fascinating, dude.
And then he was just really into seeing how many times he could fuck in one day with different people. So on February 28th,
he's got a staff with it. He's keeping tally marks in.
Basically, like on the headboard, I would imagine. And
nudge.
Or on his wand, because I imagine he had some
definitely
sort
has
of
a wand.
He is a magician, after all. And so on February 28th, 1596, this is only starting from 3 p.m. He had sex with 3 different women after 3 p.m.
Wow.
Like, that's one every 4 hours.
Wow.
He's a busy boy. And also, decent refractory period.
Yeah.
You know, that's... from what I've heard, that seems like it would be difficult. So what are some of the takeaways and consequences, both for Mr. Foreman, but also for us? He only got gonorrhea once.
Really?
Yeah.
Well done.
Or at least that he wrote about. And there seems to be no concern at all with possible pregnancies. And we saw how he dealt with the nurse. So the fact that he's not worried at all, to me, doesn't seem to say that, they were using some sort of contraception or that he mixed a cool potion that he thought was working. That he just didn't care at all. Like, it was not going to be his problem. And I've read paternity suits from the archives. Like, you're gonna owe money. Like, this is some child support shit like we have today was going on then too. So for whatever reason, he was not worried about it. So I'm wondering what you think is interesting about all of this. Anything surprise you the most?
Other than his job?
Nope, not surprised at all.
It just sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I know this dude.
We do know this dude.
And like this is a dude that I think everybody meets in college, which might bring up some of those coercion issues of like, what is involved in this seduction? What is involved in this affair? Obviously, like, with these long-standing affairs, like, yeah, there's probably some consent in there somewhere because they're long-standing affairs. But he's a sketchy dude. Otherwise it just seems so real. Like, he's just I can grasp onto this character so well that I'm just like, this doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't even surprise me that he'd keep like a little book, and I just like, I can picture him coming out of the brothel, like marking a little check mark down, and then just like whistling and being on his merry way.
Continuing
in my mind, he's still dressed like a musketeer.
Sketchy dude, but
I think I thought of what I want to see him in.
What do you want to see him
in? I want to see him in something where the ladies that he's fucking are central. Like, they're the central storyline, and it's a John Tucker must die scenario where, like, one of the scorned ones, somebody, like, a maidservant that he got drunk and fucked.
And the nurse he got pregnant,
they all get together and conspire to kill him.
Yes, let's write this.
I love it. Done.
We'll be right back with more Rude Tutors right after this brief message.
Are you still waiting to sign up for ScissorCare? Your only hope of affording even the most basic healthcare services? Just log on to your personal implant security information portal. Need a bandage? There's an app for that. Just rub a skin, hair, blood, urine, fecal, ocular, seminal, cerebral, vaginal, muscular, testicular, vascular, and adrenal sample on the nearest USB drive, and you'll be good to go. It's just that simple. ScissorCare, your answer to all life's injuries.
If that ad just reminded you it's time for your quadri-yearly checkup, check out episode 5 of Space Happens, available May 8th on the Fake Geek Girl YouTube channel. Now, here's more Rude Tutors. And now, it's time for the rousing edition of Crazy Shit That People Say on the Internet. About things relating to the Renaissance.
So today, what we're going to be talking about is a couple of reviews I found on Amazon of Dolls of the World, the Princess Collection.
Dolls of the World!
Yeah, these are Barbies.
I love Barbies.
Do you?
I actually really do.
So, first on the runway is the Princess of England doll.
Yeah!
The one review on there, the only negative review, which wasn't even that negative, said, the color of the face really changed.
What? Changed from when to when?
You know what I think? That's some Annabelle shit. Like, there is a demon in that doll.
And it changed from, like, human color to demon color?
Yes. You need to get rid of that doll. It's occupied by something not of this plane, not of this mortal coil.
Throw it out. Throw it out.
Sorry, Princess of England doll. No, not even throw it out, because...
Burn it? Drown it? What do?
You have to give it to
But if you drown it, it'll just turn up in France, like at the end of Jumanji. Can't do that.
I forgot all about
Burn
that.
it, I think.
So,
exercise it?
At any rate, now it's time for the Princess of Portuguese Empire doll.
Princess of Portuguese Empire doll.
So my favorite review from that one, left in 2005, was titled, "This doll is ugly."
Oh, no.
And it says, "OMG, this doll is so ugly. When I saw her, I got freaked out. But her dress is nice." But her face is so ugly. Her makeup is yuck. Barf, in parentheses.
Cher from Clueless wrote that review. Barf.
As if. I gave this doll a 1. She deserves it.
What did she ever do?
I'm sorry, Princess of Portuguese Empire doll. Don't listen to her. Then there is Princess of the Renaissance Barbie.
Oh, the whole Renaissance.
The whole Renaissance. But
Princess of the whole Renaissance.
I think she's supposed to be subtly Italian.
That makes sense.
She has olive skin, and people did not like that she had olive skin and brown hair, and people got into some fights in the comments. And there was this one review that I think is emblematic of the complaints. And the title of this one is Ugly Barbie! ! And it says, I was so excited about this Barbie. I saw her in person at my local TRU. I don't know what
Toys R Us.
Oh, duh. I saw her in person at my local Toys R Us the other day. She is not nearly as pretty in person. She has a very un-Barbie-like face. There are lots of prettier Barbies out there.
Whoa.
But also, how weird is that? I saw her in person. Like
I saw her in person.
Like
no,
a big
you
doll.
didn't. She's a doll.
She's-
First and foremost. You didn't see her in person.
But
not a person.
What warmed my heart was that other reviewers say things like, I don't know why everybody's calling this doll ugly. It's not nice. So people are white knighting for Princess of the Renaissance Barbie. And then there was this one review which just, I don't know. It's not even about the Barbie. Just
when
give
you
this
saw
a listen.
It freaked you out?
It freaked me out. No, it made me really sad. So this review says, my daughter had been asking for this Barbie for a while. So when it appeared under her tree for Christmas, she was happier than ever. Personally, this doll is a little creepy looking, but my daughter was happy. The only problem was that my son, who is 2 years older, likes to pick on my daughter. So when I found the doll on the curb one morning when I was walking to work, I wasn't surprised. The doll had been hit by many cars, and it was wet and was covered with dirty water. So that was the end of the doll. My daughter still loved it while she had it. Why is your kid Sid from Toy Story?
Why is your kid Damien from The Omen?
Why did it end out on the lawn? And, like, how sad is that?
And hit by cars?
Your daughter loved this toy, and then her older brother threw it outside?
Her older serial killer brother.
Like, watch out for your dog. Don't leave your kid alone with him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. I want to buy this girl this
terrible.
doll
Buy
again.
her that Renaissance Barbie.
And
after we end, I'm going to image search all these dolls.
But also, why are you putting this in your review? Like, why are you putting this personal family
Very
tragedy
personal
in there?
story in there.
People just sound off in the comments, and that's why I love reading them. I love reading Yelp reviews, too, for a place, but only after I've gone there. Just to see what people
Just to
bitch
see
about.
what people bitch about? See what they say?
So I want to close up, speaking of bitching about things, with Mattel Princess of Imperial Russia Barbie doll.
Oh, hey now.
Yeah. So this review was left by a husband who purchased it for his wife.
Because she's a grown-up and needs a Barbie doll.
Yeah, and because they have a particular kind of marital dynamic that necessitates buying dolls for her. So let me give this review a little read. It says, my Russian wife told me point blank she didn't like the doll. I surmised that this was because the attire was not historically accurate for an imperial princess, or so she informed me at length. I knew in advance my wife wouldn't like the doll. She tends to be very, very fussy, like a Russian princess herself. I suppose that's why I bought it for her. Of course, she appreciated the sentiment. Yeah,
My Russian wife. Who's Russian? Did I mention that she's Russian?
But
she's
also
a Russian princess.
Well, yeah, it's like he's totally buying into the Russian princess stereotype. Like,
yeah.
Dude, did you
Stop
also buy your wife? Like,
yeah, did you?
On the internet? Like, no wonder she doesn't like you, because her country sucks and she had to marry some weird, rich,
Weirdo,
white
just
dude
to-
in America. Now I'm writing fan fiction for these reviews.
Yes.
But,
That's a new level of the internet folding in on itself. Fan fiction of Amazon reviews.
what am I doing with my time, and why am I not writing my dissertation? All right, well, that's all for today's episode of Rude Tutors. So you can subscribe, rate, and comment on iTunes. Hey, send us a little note there. If you're into things we've talked about, topics you want us to explore, that's one way to get in touch with us. Another is to go to rudetutors.com or Facebook or Twitter or rudetutors@gmail.com. You can send an email directly to us that way. And for more awesome things that I'm up to, that Nicole's up to, you can check out spacehappens.com. That's the web series that we produce and act in and write and do everything for. And you heard a commercial for earlier in this episode. Check out Nicole as Mildred. She's very funny. And that's all. So this episode has been produced by Ian Gray Perry. The theme song was performed by Shay Keating with additional music provided by Chris Shern. Smells thou and on.
You're such a dork.